Imagine being able to grab all of these off the shelves in the 80s. Hello and welcome to Toys We Remember, another episode of Superpowers Mint on Card Price Guide. As you know, we kind of go over a few eBay prices and kind of see where things are in the whole collecting community with Superpowers figures. Let's start off with this Robin Mint on card. It's a good looking card. It's unpunched for those who are into that. But my problem with this one is the figure in the card is a little bit messed up. You can see that his cape is really high up and kind of scrunched there. So despite it being unpunched, I feel like this is a little bit not ideal to look at. You know, it's not the best example in my mind if the figure is messed up. But if unpunched is more your speed, maybe that's what you want. But this one sold for $318, not $3.18, $318. So that feels like a little bit high, but I think that's also kind of in the ballpark of what you're going to be paying for a Robin, and in a pretty nice card these days. Next up, we have an AFA 80 Golden Pharaoh Mint on card. It is missing the hanging tab. And the bevel looks a little bit yellowed. This one sold for $345 plus $20 shipping, so $365 right there. You know, I think that's not the worst price in the world. Obviously, this is a Series 3 figure, a little harder to find. It's an AFA. You know, if grading means something to you, again, that kind of goes along with the punched, unpunched debate. But you know, AFA and $345. You know, it's not bad considering a lot of times this figure just loose will sell for probably, you know, $170 in that ballpark. So $345, $365 with shipping, probably around ballpark what you expect to pay for this figure right now, mint on card. Next up, we have something that's exactly my speed. This is a mint on card Joker. Look at this bubble. It's clear as day. Looks fantastic. And it sold for under $100, $66.55 plus another $16 shipping. That's still a great deal. Yeah, okay, it has problems. It's punched. Then the card has creases in it. You can see a couple veins going up and down there at the top and right around the hang tab. But you know what? The figure looks great. The bubble is super clear, and it's still mint on card. So to get that for under $100, I think is absolute steal. I think that's, if you're a collector and you want some representation, this is it. So go for these types of deals. And here's something very similar. This is Brainiac. This guy usually goes for probably over $100. If, you know, under 100 if you can get it, but unbroken, the arm always breaks. You're probably going to pay at least $120, $130. This one sold for $167.50 plus only just $10 shipping. And the bubble is pretty clear, and you know, the card is not great. There's some creasing and you know, and some other issues there, but you know what, you're getting a great figure, mint on card, never been opened, never been touched, never been played with. Why not buy this instead of a loose figure that's probably broken? Here we have a mint on card Darkside, and this one's a little bit of a conundrum for me. Obviously, you can see it's unpunched, and maybe that is the reason for this price. And the bubble is clear, and it's a pretty good card back. It's not bad at all. I think my problem is the price. It feels like a little bit of an overpay. And again, maybe you're paying for condition, but you can 100% get this guy much cheaper. I've seen him go for under $100 quite a bit. So to see this price feels like at least $20 to $30 of an overpay. Granted, the shipping was free. So it's not that bad, I guess, but I think you can definitely get it for cheaper and, you know, maybe save a few bucks there. This is another one that feels like a little bit of a head scratcher. $499, basically $500 for this Hawkman mint on card. Ugh, ouch. That feels like a lot. Granted, this card looks great. Clear bubble. It is punched. but the card back looks fantastic. However, this is not the most uncommon figure on the planet. $500, that is a lot of money to be spending on a mint on card Superpowers figure that isn't Series 3. And even then, some of the Series 3 stuff is not worth $500. So I'm not sure why this one went so high. Maybe there's something I'm missing, but that feels like a really big overpay, maybe even by a couple $100. And from $500 to $50. $51.05 to be exact, plus shipping. This Calabac is in rough shape. It has the free Clark Kent sticker on it. Some sort of price sticker from some random store. It's tough to tell which one it is. But yeah, this card back has seen better days. The bubble is clear. But, you know, again, here you have it. I would take this, you know. Does it look kind of crummy? Yes. But the bubble is clear. The figure looks great. And you have it in your collection. And for really $60 with shipping included. So this figure usually goes for around $45, $30, you know, $40 loose. So again, a mint on card that's not that far off the loose price. And here we have the exact figure we featured at the very beginning of this video. A bunch of Flash's mint on card. Well, you can go back in time and go pick one up now. And frankly, for not that much money. $52 again, just like Calabac. This one can be had for pretty good prices. This one's bubble is not really quite as clear as Calabac. Very yellow bubble and another beat up card. Maybe not quite as bad as the Calabac one, but, you know, not great. So, you know, you can get these things pretty cheap. And this one, I feel like you could get a better card for this price. I've seen Flash go for probably around this price with a bubble that was much clearer than this. So if you kind of want to be squinting and see what does Flash look like between, I can't really see with that I can't really see with that yellow bubble. So maybe you want to take a closer look. I would hold off. $52 while a cheap price. I think you can get it at least in better condition than this one. Here we have a Dr. Fate. This is another card back that's a little beat up. You can see it along the hang tab, kind of a corner up in the left. That's a bit of a dog ear. Sold for $95 plus $10 shipping, so a little over $100. Bubble's very clear. You know, I think this is probably what you're going to pay for most mint on cards superpower figures, and Dr. Fate is fairly common, so I can't argue with this price very much. Maybe you could get a little cheaper in this type of condition, and you could get a better condition one for like $105. But honestly, I can't argue with this one that much. Here is a Assad from the same seller. You can tell by the same red background that he used. Selling for roughly the same price as Dr. Fate. I would argue that Assad is slightly harder to find than Dr. Fate, especially, I mean, obviously loose. His exhaust pipes always are missing, so that's kind of the key to him. But a loose one in, you know, semi-mint condition with all his accessories is probably selling for around $65. So to see this go for $102 mint on card is a pretty good deal. Granted, this bubble is not nearly as good as Dr. Fate's. It's very yellow, almost as bad, or probably as bad as the Flash. So, but still, $102, $112 with shipping, not too bad. Here we are back to the AFA graded figures. Again, not a lot of Superpowers figures, at least I find, mint on card are graded. So to kind of see these graded is a little rare. Maybe these have been popping up a little bit more lately. But here's a Red Tornado. Pretty common figure, not super rare. Selling for $318.69. It feels a bit high. I've definitely seen them go for lower, maybe even $100 lower. This is unpunched. It is graded. And let's take a quick look at some of those grades. The card got an 80, the bubble got an 80, and the figure got an 85. So those are pretty good as far as the grading goes. And, you know, if you believe in that thing, then, you know, this one's for you. And I think that's why people are paying $50 expedited shipping for it, plus the $318 that they actually paid for the figure. So it's almost hovering around the $400 mark, which seems like a lot, but you know, AFA graded, that's what you're going to get. So now, considering what the Red Tornado sold for, this one seems like a bit of surprise. Obviously, it's from the same seller. He's charging the same amount for $50 expedited shipping. And you look at it, you're like, okay, obviously Red Tornado, you know, had a much clearer bubble, much better bubble, although it feels like the grade's the same. But this one sold for under, this Samurai sold for under $300. This is about $30 cheaper than the other one. And I feel like this one is a little bit harder to find than Red Tornado, who seems to pop up quite a bit. Obviously, on the loose market, this one has an accessories issue, so maybe that's, you know, maybe they're more common on card than I realize. But for now, I feel like this feels like a pretty good deal, compared to the Red Tornado. And here's the last of those graded examples from the same seller, charging $50 expedited shipping. This is a Cyclotron, the made-up one, selling for $366. So this is going to be over $400 for this. Unpunched. Card back is great. It did get an 85, and along with the bubble got an 85, even though it's very yellowed. So that doesn't really make much sense to me. Figure got a 90. But this figure, I think, is probably along the same lines as Samurai as far as rarity goes. It does pop up a lot as far as loose, but a lot of times it's missing that mystery face part. So anyway, I think that's a decent price. And again, I think that Red Tornado was just a bit of an overpay, but who knows? Maybe it was a specific collector who shelled out almost $400 for that. File this under if you can buy in bulk, do it. This was 4 mint on card figures, 2 Robins, selling for just over $305. And if you think of the prices we were just talking about for one figure, this is quite the good deal. Especially considering, I think at the beginning of the video, one of the Robins was over $300, and this guy got 2. So pretty good deal, I would have to say. A Joker, a Flash, and 2 Robins. One of those smaller single cards, not a full card back. And these figures look great. So for just over $300, this guy got 4 figures that look fantastic. And, you know, a great way to start your collection, a great way to, you know, economically expand your collection. So, great buy, whoever got this one. That's all I have today. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like this video, take the time, ring the bell, do all the things to help this channel, because you know what? We need it.